All right, if you entered that address correctly, it should take you to the document that we've linked here. And FYI, this isn't just a regular bulleted list. Everything that I cover today is hyperlinked. So if you go to this document and just click on it, you can click on the link and it'll take you right to the steps, okay, should you miss this in class. All right. Also, in terms of resources and schedule moving forward, a few ways you can find that information out on our Alcoa Connects page. I think everybody here follows that class, or is in that class rather. All the resources and recordings that we create are posted here, as well as supplements, things to the trainings. All right. The Alcoa Connects page, which is linked from the high school website, I think it's linked from the other websites as well, has our schedule of future trainings. And then, of course, we have the YouTube channel that has all the videos as well there. Okay? All right, so having said that, let's go ahead and get started with the first Mac tip. And let me go ahead and say that I'm using my Mac today because some of the ones that I want to demonstrate, they don't work if your Mac's resolution doesn't support it. Okay, so especially with the split screens and things like that, unless you have enough pixels, you can't make use of the feature. Okay, so if you're not seeing exactly what I am, that's probably the reason, those of you who are on laptops. Unless you have a Retina display, which in that case, that just means you have a lot more pixels. Yeah. You might be able to achieve the same things that I demo here. All right. Also, let's see. There is one feature that I'm going to show you here. I'm running OS X. Oh, let me look here. It pulls up. Yeah, Mojave. I'm not sure what you all are running on your machines. I think the Mac's in. What is it? Yeah, if you go to the Apple and then choose High Sierra. Okay, High Sierra. That's one operating system behind this one that's installed on my machine. So I think you'll be able to do all but maybe one. Okay, and that new feature is actually built into Mojave. Okay, unit conversion in Spotlight. All right, so you can actually get to Spotlight quick if you hold down Command and the space bar. At the same time, watch what will happen. I'll hold down Command and space bar, and it brings up the Spotlight search. Okay, that's just the same as going up and clicking on the Spotlight icon in the upper right-hand corner. All right, Spotlight is actually a unit converter. All right, this could come in really handy. So if I typed in, let's say, 250 feet, watch what it's going to automatically do. It's going to give me a conversion right there. You can do the same thing with other types of units of measurement. Okay, so see if you can try that on your computer real quick. All right, it doesn't have to be feet. Okay, it's going to be Command space, and that brings it up. Let's say you want to do a quick conversion of degrees. Let's say 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that spelled right? Let me go 98 degrees. Okay, yeah. It gives me the Celsius conversion there as well. Okay? All right. Next, what do you do if your menu bar disappears? Maybe you don't like the menu bar up on your screen the whole time you're working. That's easy to remove or to add, but if you come across a computer and it's missing and you don't know where it went, this step is going to show you how to get it back. All right, just simply click on the Apple menu and go to System Preferences. And from System Preferences, you're going to choose the General icon. It pulls up here. Okay, just go to General, and you all can do this. All right, there's a lot of other options there as well. You probably don't see in High Sierra like you do in Mojave. Okay. All right, close that back. This is a fun one. Type emoji and other symbols. I think I described it as typing exotic characters. All right, so if we pull up a new doc here, so let me just type in doc.new. And this will work on any text document if it's in Google or if it's maybe on your Mac, maybe it's the Notes app. The keyboard shortcut is Control, Command, Space. So if you hold down Control, Command, and the space bar, watch what's going to happen. In the lower left-hand side, you're going to see all of your emojis will come up. All right, and you can actually enter these into any Google document. In fact, you can add them into the title of the document. Okay, let me go over that one more time. You're going to hold down Control, Command, and Space Bar. Okay? Control, Command, and Space Bar. Okay? And of course, you can cycle through there. And to add one, you simply click on it, and it'll pop it in there. As you can see, well, that's really small. No problem. You can resize that because it's treated as a font. See what you can do? You can even make it a lot bigger. Okay.
You can make it.
Yeah, you just select it. It's just like you would any other text.
Oh, and then you just increase the
That's
font
right.
size.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's no drag. I can
Mhm.
see that. Why did it not go in when I clicked on it? Really second. No. Oh, it took 1 second.
All right, it appears as though there's a slight bug actually in Google Docs. I've been doing some research, and whenever we try to insert any accent character, it doubles up the letters. Here's what I'm talking about. So if I type out a sentence, I want to type in the word cafe. You'll hold down the E key, and when you do that, you're going to see the special characters. Well, we can cycle through those. That's the one I want, and then strike the Enter key, and it puts it in there. But you can see it also added another E. All right, so you'd have to go back and delete that. Kind of a pain, but that's an issue. All right, and it looks like other people have seen this as well. So the Mac works the way it's supposed to. It's just for whatever reason, when you're using Google Docs, it's going to double the letters up. All right. I also should point out that sometimes the modifier keys menu that appears, it won't appear here up at the top. It'll appear in the lower left-hand side, so you might not see it. So if I type out cafe once more and hold down the E, well, this time it did. It put it right there. All right. You can cycle through these and then choose the character you want. All right. So just be advised of that issue. And again, if you don't see what you want up here, look in the lower left-hand side for that modifier key. Okay. One other thing here that you might want to do so we can practice some of these things, on the doc that I created, I've got a link there, download practice files. It's a zip file. So if you want to follow along with what I'm about to show you, go ahead and download that. Okay, so come on back to the doc, click on practice files, it's a zip file. It'll go straight to your downloads folder, open it up, and then you'll have access to this folder here that says practice files. All right, let me show you where I was going with this, and that is to batch rename files. Okay, this, because I work with a lot of media and I have to manage a lot of media, this step can come in really handy. So if you happen to have a folder, or just talking about docs too, and you want to quickly rename them, see what I've got here. I've got a folder that says building photos, and I'm going to open that up, and they're all titled beginning with IMG, and then there's a sequence of numbers following that. All right, if I select all of them and then control click or right click on them, look here, I'm going to have the option to quickly rename these items. Rename the 12 items. Okay, that's a good question. Good question. Okay, I click the top one. Now hold down the Shift key, and then you come to the last one in the list, and it selects it.
And then you did a right click over.
And then I right clicked on it. Yeah, or a control click. Yeah.
Or control click is right click as well.
Yeah, yeah. All right, then we chose.
And control click the second one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, you're doing the list.
You-
Yeah, it was shift, wasn't it?
Well,
The
what do we?
list, to highlight the whole list.
Oh yeah. You click the first one, hold down Shift, and then click the last one. That just selects all of them. There's probably an easier way to even do that without worrying about any keys. Look here. If you just see where my cursor is, just click and drag.
Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, so I figured there has to be an easy way.
Okay. Well, there's another way there for you then. Okay. And again, you're going to right click and then choose that option to rename them. Okay, you can see what some of these options are. Replace the text to, I'm just going to say photo. Actually, I don't want to replace text. I want to change the format. Yeah, this would be where I did it. Name and index custom format. Start at number 1. Photo 1. Okay, so it's going to tell me what it will be called then. All right, so if I say rename, let's see how it handles that. There you go. See that? See how it changed all of them?
Oh, to photo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Might come in handy sometime where you need to batch rename a bunch of files. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is where you might not be able to achieve this on those computers here. It's a split screen effect. All right, and to demo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move out one of my tabs here so that I have 2 of them. All right. So the way you get this split screen effect to work, you have 2 working windows. They don't have to be exactly the same dimensions. But when you put your cursor on the green dot on one of them and click and hold, watch what's going to happen. This region is going to be available now for you to drop in a window. If I release, there it is, and then if I click on this other one, it automatically fills in. Okay? You're like, that's great. Now how do I get to my other stuff? How do I get out of this? No problem. Simply move your cursor up, all right, and then you can get out of that view. Yeah, so you're going to look for the green dot. There we go. Here we go. All right. We're going to say a couple things about the preview application. I use preview a lot. How many of you have ever used preview on the Mac? It's a great little utility, and it does more than what you might think at first it would do. One thing it'll do is it'll allow you to bring in content. All right, so if you have an iPad, you can actually connect it to your computer or your phone. Let's say you got a lot of content on your phone and you want to move it to your Mac so that you can work with it. You can do it a couple ways. You can use AirDrop. You could email it to yourself. Some people do that. Or if you have a charging cable, you can simply plug into your Mac. I've got this iPad plugged into the Mac, and then I'm going to load up the application called Preview. That's built into every Mac. And with it running, I'll click on the File menu, and I'll simply choose Import. That's my iPad right there. And watch what will happen. And I'll probably get a message saying to unlock it, but yeah, here we go. There's all the photos that are on my iPad. So if I want to quickly get those in, I can hold down, I can click on one, hold down the Shift key, okay?
Like that.
There's all of them, and then I can choose to import the one selected, or in this case, if I wanted to just bring all of them in, I could choose Import All. One nice thing about importing them this way, you can see the file size, dimension, some other settings that were registered whenever the photos were taken as well. All right, so if I choose Import, it's going to grab all those, and it's going to put them right there in my Downloads folder. And once they're there, I can do what I want with them. Actually, it'll ask me where I want to put them first. So if I said on the desktop, because that's right where everything goes, right? No. All right, it's going to put them there in the New Photos folder. Click Choose Destination. And hopefully they'll come in. I will say that I did have some issues with, oh, it looks like it's going to pull them up too. Yeah, in Preview.
You took those pictures with an iPad.
No. No, I had these photos. I transferred them to the iPad because I didn't have time to actually take them myself today. I saved a step.
Sorry, they're really good.
If I had, yeah, those would be good, but no, these were done by somebody else. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Moving forward. All right. Annotating PDFs. Here's another thing you can do. All right. So for this, I'm going to go into my practice files folder. If you downloaded that, you should see a PDF there. Here we go. PDF sample. And it just so happens to be the document that we were working from today. Here it is. All right. I have teachers ask me, well, I've got a PDF. How do I select text? How do I copy text? How do I add text? You can do all this with Preview. All right, the key is to get your tools up on the screen. So if I have this pulled up in Preview, click on the View menu, and you're going to choose Show Markup Toolbar. Look there. Now you've got the ability to annotate, draw on this. You can add a signature. You can put regular text on there, do shapes, lines, highlight things, all with these controls that are right here. One thing that you could do that I've done on more than one occasion is if you have a date on there that you needed to quickly fix, but you don't have the original document this was created in, no problem. You can simply cover over it with a little shape here. All right. I'll go white, and I don't want a red line around it, so I'll take that away. Look at this. And I can just resize it. All right, and then if I want to add some more text, I'll just click Text. Wow. It's not it is a little finicky, I will say that. All right, and then I'll resize this a little bit.
Is it weird that mine is open in Acrobat?
No, that just means you have Adobe Acrobat associated with PDFs. And one of our steps today is to show you how to change that, actually. Yeah, so that's not a problem. Yeah. So with the text entered there, you can, of course, change the style of the font. All right, well, as well as the color. All right, and then just move it into position, and nobody will know. Well, that doesn't look perfect. Okay, yeah, here's another thing. I was making sure I wasn't going to cover it later. It was actually in here. Convert with Preview. This is useful. In fact, I've had many people ask me, hey, I've got this photo and I want to change it. I want to change the file type, or I want to do something to it and then convert it. Well, let's do that together. So in that same practice files folder, I've got this one. It says, I think it's a Tennessee Titans logo. Here we go. Go ahead and pull that up. Should pull it up in Preview. All right. So people have asked me, you know, this photo has a white background. How do I get rid of that? Well, this is a JPEG image, so you don't have transparency. Transparency is that invisible part of the image that you don't see. Okay? This is a JPEG, so I don't have that. However, I can use Preview to make it a ping, which supports transparency. Then I can take this and put it wherever I want. But first I want to remove that background color. Now watch how I do that. Then in order to, I need to first get my tools on the screen. So if I click on View and then choose Show Markup Toolbar, I'm going to look for this one right here. It's the Instant Alpha. And if I click that, watch what I can do. I can click on the color that I want to remove, and if I drag it, it's going to select all that outside part of the image.
Or did you choose to color?
Okay, well, I'm not coloring it right now. I'm just selecting it. All right, I'm designating a color to remove. Right? And the further I drag it, the more closely related colors are going to be removed as well. Okay? So see what happens if I keep dragging it down? It's going to get rid of that white until eventually I've selected everything. Right? So watch this. So I've got that selected, and then I can choose Cut. It's going to cut that out. All right? It'll say, hey, if you want to do this, you got to convert it. So I'll choose Convert. There we go. All right, so now This is a ping file, and it saved it right in the same directory as I had before. So now watch this.
And then you did what? I'm sorry. What?
I'll go back and revisit this. Let me show you where I'm going with this. So if I go to, all right, here's that ping. Why will it not let me? There we go. Every time I click off of it. There, see? See how it doesn't have that white background behind it now? Did you get it over there?
I did.
Good, good,
Success.
good. Yeah. This can come in handy in a variety of applications, but I included it because it's the type of question I've had many people ask me. How do you get rid of a picture, or how do you convert it? All right, now if it was just simple conversion and we weren't worried about removing anything, you could just click on the File menu and then choose Export. You can see from the Export set of options, you can choose, there's your ping, you can make a PDF. There's a few other options there too. Teacher just last week asked me, how do you convert a JPEG to a PDF? Like, this has been built into Preview for well over a decade. Okay? File and export.
From the Windows world.
What's that?
Since some of us come from the Windows world, we're trying to convert.
I know you do, and that's okay.
You're forgiven. So tell me.
There are actually some free utilities that are there on the Windows side that will allow you to do the same thing. I haven't included them today, but
That's fine.
I can share those later if you like.
No, I'm converting.
All right.
I just appreciate you doing this, because I've been here for years, and no one's ever, I mean, like, everything I know about my Mac, I
You had to
figured
learn
out
on your own.
Yeah. Which is not a bad.
Well-
thing, but there's- yeah.
I mean, the things I've learned on my own pretty much just by playing around. Or I wanted to do something and didn't know how to do it. So I Googled it and then self-taught. So,
When Debbie West was over there, like, she is the guru. She knows how to do everything with all the little shortcuts, and so I asked her, but she retired. So.
one other thing you can do here too, and this is useful.
No, sorry.
We okay?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had a picture that was too large to upload to a certain location, it says, hey, you need to change the size. You can also do that with Preview. If you click on Tools, see where it says Adjust Size. Then you give it a new dimension.
The image itself.
So,
When it's a PNG.
well, we're not converting, we're just changing the dimension of the image right now. Yeah. And you just click OK, and then it's going to be smaller. Okay. I had a question about that from somebody a while back. They wanted to get a picture on the website, but it was too huge. I said, just use Preview again to resize it. That's easy. Tools, adjust size. Okay. Trim a video. Okay, this could come in handy. Maybe somebody sends a video clip to you and you want to present it in class. You want to show it off to somebody, but it's a long clip and you want to quickly trim it. You can do that with QuickTime. You don't have to open it up in iMovie. You don't have to be a serious video editor. You can just use a quick tool that's in QuickTime. So that's the default player on Macs. All right, so I've got a video clip here. It's in my practice files. If I double click on that, it's going to open up in QuickTime. And let me show you how easy this is. And you all can try this as well. Okay, so here's the video clip. Hopefully it'll open. All right. You can see it is 52 seconds in length. All right, well, let's say I just want to trim this to one little scene. What I would do, I would go up to the Edit menu, and then I could choose Trim. Colleen, this might come in handy for you. You do a lot of flipped recordings and stuff, and maybe you needed to edit something out at the beginning or end, or even in the middle. You could trim things up with QuickTime. We could go to Trim, and then what's going to happen is we're going to see these handles. All right, here you just drag them in one direction or the next. Okay, and then you click Trim, and there's my movie now. 2 seconds. Quick. I didn't have to bring it really into any sophisticated, yeah, it's real simple. And here's another bonus one.
I was gonna say you can add a clip.
You can add clips.
That happens a lot for me where I have two different videos that I really need to stitch together. And at the moment, I just make kids watch two short videos,
Yeah.
but it would be a lot easier if they were merged.
Yeah,
Back to it.
you can.
do that in this?
It says like in the file.
Here's another useful. Again, this wasn't planned, but you ever had somebody shoot a video with the wrong aspect ratio? All right, it's either portrait or landscape, and it's upside down. You can even turn it. So if somebody sends you a video and you're having to turn your head to watch it, just pull it up in QuickTime and then go edit. Look here, rotate left, right, and then it will change it for you.
I've been to a wedding. Good info.
Okay. Any of you ever had to do that?
Needed to, didn't know how.
Yeah. QuickTime. All right, enough of that. Not going to save it. Quick Look. That's the next tip. Quick Look is a built-in feature that allows you to view an enlarged version of a file without actually having to open up the program it's associated with. Okay, so again, let me go to my practice files folder, and let's see this PDF sample that I've got there. All right, I don't want to open it up in preview, but I want to quickly see what it actually is. I could right-click on it, and if you choose Quick Look, watch what it's going to do. It's just going to give you a quick preview of that. All right, and built into this version of OS X, you can actually mark it up if you click on this tool right here. I don't think you have that in High Sierra. All right, that'll also work. This is great for looking at Office files. Somebody sends you a PowerPoint or a Word file, and you don't want to take the time to open it up in one of those programs. Just use Quick Look, and you can see what it is. Yeah, that'll also work with multiple files at the same time. So if I went to my photos, and if I selected a bunch of them at once, and then right-clicked on it and chose Quick Look, watch what it's going to do. If I choose the grid view,
Okay, so when
there they all are.
right click on here, it's not just hitting on the right side of the mouse, right?
You're going to control click.
Control.
Yeah.
Mine I had to 2 fingers.
You can enable that. Yeah, that's a preference that you can enable there. Yeah. All right.
See if it is.
All right. Quick Look.
So you can get to that little arrow down underneath where it says building. You can get to that same menu there because that's where I always have gotten.
That's true. You can get it there as well. Depending on how you've set up your windows, that may or may not be there. All right. That Quick Look option. All right. All right, here's another useful thing, Finder tabs, and I liken it to tabbed browsing. All right, if you're not used, some teachers, believe it or not, still don't understand that you can have tabs open in browsers and look at separate pages. They think you have to have a new window, and they fight managing those windows. All right, well, the concept of tabs is also there in window management, and you can see right here, I've got a tab here, and if I click on plus, I can open up a new tab right here and cycle through. So I can have lots of basically windows open, but it's all in the same window, if that makes any sense. So maybe this one I want to have open to my movies folder. This one, music.
I wonder if this is because of
If you don't see the tab bar up here, again, go to the View menu, choose Show Tab Bar. Then you'll be able to add more Finder tabs. All right. Another thing that I see on a lot of teachers' computers, they're looking for a file, and over here on the left-hand side, their favorites, they don't have anything, or there might be 1 or 2 icons. Well, you can actually drag content shortcuts into this location here. So let's say if I wanted a quick shortcut to my public folder, I could actually take that and drag it in between here. And then I've just created a shortcut to that folder. All right? Quite easy to do. Just click and drag. All right? And of course you can rearrange things if you want to while you're over here. And if you just drag them out, that's going to get them out of there. See?
How do you get my favorite way? Drag it out. And it comes right back.
Well, let's see my downloads. I'm dragging it over here. Yeah. In this case, I'm dragging it into this region here.
Okay. I
You
just
get
have to
it?
go a little bit farther.
Okay. All right.
So I can get rid of some.
Yeah, you can get rid of a lot of them. It doesn't delete them off the computer, it just removes the preview. Okay? I'm going to skip the add folder to a sidebar because we're starting to run out of time. Change file associations. This will pertain to you with the PDFs. Okay? So, you know, if you have a particular file that opens in a certain program and you want to change it, it's quite easy. All right, in this case, she had a PDF that always opened in Adobe. All right, so here's the PDF here. If you do a Command I, or if you right-click and choose Get Info, it's going to show you some details about that particular file. And in this case, it says Open With. All right, yours might say Adobe. And to change it, all you have to do, click that drop-down menu, choose the application that you want it to open with, and then to apply that setting to all your PDFs, click Change All. Okay? I think Preview handles PDFs just fine, so I'm not going to change mine. All right?
How do I get to just do that one only?
Well, you don't check Change All.
Then what do I do after that?
You just, here, let me show you.
Close
Do
it.
that again one more time.
Okay, no problem. All right, I'm going to choose Get Info. All right, let's say I want this to open it up in there. That's all you got to do, and then close out of that window.
And then just close
Yeah.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
you'll do it.
Yeah.
Next time you double click that, it'll open.
Yeah,
the
mhm.
program.
Mm-hmm.
So I click on Open With,
And then it says, are you
Yeah,
sure?
and then
you
find the
and
program.
it says Adobe, and that's not what I want. I want Preview.
If you want Preview to be the default program that it's opened in, yeah, you choose
That's
Preview.
what we normally use.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because it switched
And then you
from-
choose Change All so that the other PDFs will open in Preview. Okay? All right.
It's only been on Adobe for like a week, and I'm sure
Okay.
it's something to get there.
Switching between open apps. This is one of my favorite ones. If you hold down Command and Tab, look at what's going to happen. You're going to have all of them. The running applications are going to be right there, displayed in the middle of your screen. And each time you hit Tab, it'll just cycle through from one to the
And
next.
then when you let go, it'll go to the.
And when you let go, it'll go right to the one that it's on.
Popped up for a second, and then it disappeared.
Hold down Command,
And
keep holding it down, and then strike Tab. Okay? Okay? All right. One more trick with QuickTime. I actually should have shown this earlier. We're jumping around too much here. But if you wanted to record something, let's say somebody sent you something on your phone or a parent, and you wanted to capture that on your computer, bring it to your computer.
Yeah.
If you have it physically connected to your computer, watch what you can do. With QuickTime, I'm going to pull it up here.
Even if it's just voice? Or are you talking about a video?
I'm talking about a video, okay? But it'll also pull in the audio with it as well. All right, so I've got QuickTime loaded up. Watch. If I click on File and then New Movie Recording, now you're going to see my face here. Ignore that because I'm going to switch cameras here in just a second. Okay, it's going to detect the iPad, or it should anyway. Okay, right down here by the record button, you see there's a little arrow. If I click that, oh look, it's going to, the default is going to be the FaceTime camera, but right now we're looking at my my iPad. Could just as easily be your phone. And if I want to record that, all right, I can click the record button, but if I also want to bring in the audio on the phone, I choose that as an audio source. See that?
Will I see him?
Well, that's an AirPlay destination. I'm not going to get it from there.
Oh,
But if
you're
I
saying
want,
you can
yeah,
use internal microphone
yeah.
right there. I got you.
all right. And then I click the record button. Now it's recording everything that I do here.
So you could open up an app, like when you're doing your flip classroom,
Mhm.
use that.
Yeah, you could.
What do you use, Camtasia?
Okay. Again, that may come in handy at some point. Maybe not. Here's another one, and we're going a little bit over today. I apologize.
Oh, really?
We started a few minutes later, though, so it's okay.
Well, no, I got a new iPad.
All right, I'm going to delete that.
I would love to do that again.
All right, this one, if you have a hard time keeping things organized on your Mac, think about color coordinating it or color coding it. All right, and the way you're going to do that is by adding color tags. All right, and so during football season, I was given lots and lots of media to work with, ads that we had to put on the Jumbotron. All right, and each week I had to decide how many ads are going to go into the rotation, which one should be the priority, and it was a lot to manage. And so whenever I built the show, I had to have a collection of images that I would have to manually bring in. And certain vendors would maybe air 16 times a game, some 8 times a game. And so I thought, all right, I got to come up with a workflow that allowed me to build this. And so here's what I ended up doing. I color coordinated the files as they came in. All right, and that helped me a great deal. So I'm going to change view here to thumbnail icons, and you can see each of these graphics here has a color, a label, beside the file name. All right, and how I did that, how I added a color, is by right-clicking on the file, and you're going to choose one of these colors. Okay? And what's nice about when you apply a color to it, you can actually sort them by color. All right? Sort by tags. All right? So then it's going to group everything together. So my blue ones represented ads that were going to be seen 16 times. See how it grouped them by color then? Again, to apply the color, you simply select the files, right-click, or control-click, and then you choose a color. I'm going to put that color beside it. You can also share stuff from your Mac to your phone, your iPad, quite easily with AirDrop. Yeah, anything. Here's how you do it on a Mac. Watch. You can right-click on the file, and if you choose Share, AirDrop, there it is. And what it's going to do is it's going to look for nearby sources that have that AirPlay option turned on. And then if it finds some, here we are. It'll show them on the screen here. I can choose them, and then it sends the file. All right. I use AirDrop a lot to transfer stuff from my mobile device to my computer. All right. Adjusting the icon size. In the lower right-hand corner of your screen, if you are on icon view in a window, hopefully it'll, looks like I'm hanging up here. Yep. See this little slider here? If I drag that to the right, it's going to allow me to see little thumbnail previews of everything. But the only way that works is if you are in, at least this view, is if you're looking at grid view here. Or icon view, I should say. Right there like that. That's the only time that little slider will appear in the lower right-hand corner. If you don't see the slider that will allow you to increase the size of your thumbnails, click on View and then choose Show Status Bar. Here it is. Then you can increase or decrease the size of those thumbnails inside the Finder window. This one won't apply because I don't think any of you are running the same OS I am. But if you wanted to record a quick audio memo of something, you could use the voice recorder or voice memos. I've got it right here. Let me show you how it works quick. And then I've got one last tip after this, and then we'll be all done.
Is it called the voice over utility?
No, it's just called voice memos. All right. And if you have an iPhone, you have the same app on your phone.
Yeah, I was just pulling it up.
Yeah. So here it is.
On our computers?
Yeah, it's an OS thing. All right, so you don't have this latest. All right, but with this version of Mac OS, it's actually built in. So I could sit here, I could record a voice memo. Listening. All right, it didn't start when I wanted it to. All right, that's all I'm going to say. All right, so I can pause that and then click Done. All right, if I wanted to trim that up a bit, I could, but to get it out, I just simply drag it out of here. I can then rename it, and if I wanted to put it in Drive or email as an attachment, I could do that quite easily. Okay? Yeah, just record it and then drag it out. Okay?
I should have that since I have the Mojave stuff, but I don't.
If you have, do you have Mojave? Okay, yeah. Yeah, you'll find it in the Applications folder. All right, here's the last one. I saved the best for last, and that's spaces. Okay, so you can set up different spaces on your computer. And this was, I think, Megan, your question earlier, that stuff that was going across the top. How do you do that? Okay. What you'll want to do on my Mac here, if I hold the F3 key, what that's going to do is it's going to show me all these different spaces that are up here. All right, now I can create virtual desktops and sort them any way I want to. And I can quickly move from one, it's like having different computers that I'm sitting at, and I can quickly go from one to the next. I mean, I don't know any other way to work at this point. So it really helps when it comes to managing content and getting to it quickly. Let me just close out of these so you all can see and I can demo how this is going to work. All right, so as you can see, I've got several windows here. This might be you at your computer. All right, and you want to put some away, but if you minimize them all, you have to go back down to your dock and then enlarge them. Much easier way. Here's how we do it. If I hold down the F3 key, all right, I can take any one of these and just drag them up here to a new space. All right, and then once they're up there, I can rearrange them. Now look, I can click on one. Let me get rid of this chat conversation. Now to quickly get to the other one, if I hold down Control and any of my arrow keys, I'm right over there. Okay? Control, arrow right, back. You can even use your mouse and do it back and forth.
And
I'm just
then
doing
you
it too.
Control.
I'm not doing anything. This is a regular mouse. Just two-finger swipe to the left or to the right, and I'm back. Okay? Now you can customize how all this works in your system preferences. So if you click on the apple and go to System Preferences, yeah, what you're going to look for is Mission Control. And that's where some of these things can be customized. Another way to quickly get a space, a new space, if you have multiple windows, is just enlarge it so it's full screen. Then you control back and forth from one to the next. Okay? And then, of course, just move your cursor up to the top, and then you can take it out of full screen mode.
You know when that come in handy? This is like when you're in Skyward and
Thanks
opens
for
up
coming.
another where you put grades in. and
Oh, yeah.
it's-
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm always like closing, minimizing, like trying to find
I
the
take
little stuff.
screenshots and I have, like, I'll print them off and lay them everywhere to do grades because ours
Yeah.
doesn't
You can do the
automatically
split
update.
screen too. And you're
Okay.
taking grades from one from two.
Folks, that is all I had time to cover. I'm sorry I went a little over today. It happens. This is the first time it's happened to me, though, this year.
When are you supposed to end? 4:45?
4:30. Yeah. So at any rate, thank you for everyone who's come today. I'll make this available within the next couple days if you want to go back and review.
Can we save it or request access or any way to save a copy? Make a copy?
Make a copy? What do you mean? Of
Of the document, if we wanna go in and see any of these things again?
Oh, yeah, sure, make a copy, yeah, for yourself, if you want to, yeah. And make sure you sign that, attendance sheet over there, so that our last, session, you'll be eligible for the drawing.
Okay, so there were two things I needed